The resonance
Liam
cascade
wiped
is
the grease from
unstable
his
right here.
hands on an
The
old rag,
diagnostic confirms it.
leaving dark
We have to vent
smudges
the
across
plasma
his pale
regulators
skin.
immediately.
The garage smelled of oil, burnt wires, and old metal, the kind of smell that reminded him of his grandfather, even if the old man had been gone for years. He looked around at the cluttered space. Half-dismantled hovercars stacked in corners, shelves full of strange gadgets, and boxes of parts that no one had touched in decades. He loved this chaos. To Liam, it wasn't mess, it was potential. Every loose wire, every broken circuit, every old tool had a story, and if he was clever enough, he could make something new out of it. Today, he was trying to fix the elevator in the garage. It was a strange thing, big, metallic, and ancient. It hadn't moved in decades, but his grandfather had often joked about it. "One day, it'll take you places you never imagined," he had said, tapping the red button at the corner. Liam always laughed at that. He never believed his grandfather, but curiosity had its own weight. Liam wiped the last of the grease from his hands and pressed the red button. Nothing happened. He frowned. "Figures," he muttered. But then he noticed a faint hum, almost like electricity flowing under his skin. He squinted at the panel. Tiny symbols began glowing along the edges of the elevator door, symbols he had never seen before. "What the hell?" Liam whispered. Before he could react, the floor beneath him shivered. A faint vibration ran through the garage, making his tools rattle on the benches. The elevator doors slid open with a soft hiss, revealing not a storage bay, not a basement, but a swirling holographic portal. Bright colors spun and twisted in the air, and strange symbols floated around it like fireflies. Liam staggered back, tripping over a toolbox. His heart raced. This wasn't possible. He had pressed a button in a garage, not opened a gateway to another world. A voice boomed from nowhere. It wasn't loud, but it carried authority like the sound of a command that could bend steel. "Human detected. Activation unauthorized. Galactic protocols initiated." Liam froze. He blinked, unsure if he was dreaming. Hey, I think you have the wrong." A shadow fell across the garage. He looked up and saw it. A sleek alien ship hovering silently above the garage roof despite the low ceiling. Its metal shimmered in colors Liam couldn't name, reflecting the lights of the portal. The hum of its engines thrummed through his chest. "Oh no," he breathed. He ran to the door, but it wouldn't open. The ship's presence created a force field, trapping him inside. Panic flared in his chest. He had only pressed a button. How could one button do this? Then came the hologram. A figure appeared in the center of the portal, a tall alien with glowing skin, sharp features, and eyes that seemed to pierce straight through him. "Human," the alien said, voice crisp and mechanical, "you have triggered an alert that was meant to remain dormant. You are now visible to the Galactic Council. Your species is considered dangerous. Prepare to be contained." Liam's mouth went dry. "Wait, I didn't do anything. I'm just a mechanic. I fix hovercars. I don't even know what you're talking about." The alien tilted its head. "Intent does not matter. Activation does." Liam ran to the elevator again. He tried pressing buttons, flipping switches, smashing panels, but nothing worked. It was as if the machine was alive, resisting his attempts. He stumbled backward, trying to think. He remembered his grandfather's old workshop journal, a dusty leather book with sketches and diagrams. His grandfather had always been secretive about some projects. Liam flipped through it frantically. Then he saw it, sketches of the elevator, of strange devices connected to alien symbols, and a warning scrawled in his grandfather's shaky handwriting. "Do not press without knowing. Humans are underestimated, but the galaxy watches. One mistake can awaken forces beyond comprehension." Liam's stomach turned. He had made a mistake, a huge mistake. The hum of the portal grew louder and the symbols began spinning faster. Outside, through the small garage window, he saw more ships appearing. Not just one, but dozens. Alien fleets moving in perfect formation, heading straight for his planet. "Okay," he muttered, trying to calm himself. Think. But calm thoughts were hard. Panic clawed at him. How could one human stop a fleet? He was just a mechanic. He didn't have weapons, didn't have training, he had nothing. Then a strange clarity came. He remembered how his grandfather had taught him to improvise, to fix things that seemed impossible. If anyone could deal with the impossible, it was a human. The first alien ship hovered directly over the garage. Liam saw the alien commander's face on a massive holographic screen projected into the sky. Its expression was cold, calculating. "You will cease interference," the commander's voice boomed. "Failure to comply will result in extermination." Liam swallowed. He knew they weren't bluffing. But he also noticed something. The ships moved with precision, but their patterns were predictable. And the alien tech, no matter how advanced, had logic. If he could just understand it, maybe he could find a weakness. He rushed to his workbench. Grease-stained hands grabbed wires, tools, and old gadgets. He ripped apart a small hovercar drone and rewired it. He didn't know if it would work, but he had to try something. Come on," he muttered, sweat dripping down his forehead. He activated the drone. It buzzed to life, surprisingly stable, and hovered toward the portal. The symbols on the portal shifted as if responding. Then just like that, the drone passed through and emerged on the other side, unnoticed by the alien fleet. Liam's heart raced, a spark of hope. If one drone could pass, maybe he could use more. Maybe he could buy time. Outside, the alien ships hesitated. They weren't used to resistance from humans. They expected fear, compliance, submission. But here was a small creature from a backwater planet already showing signs of cleverness. "Impossible," one alien officer muttered to another. "This species adapts." Liam didn't have time to feel proud. He had to act. He grabbed more drones, more tools, and started improvising weapons, small but effective. Anything that could confuse or distract the alien fleet. The portal pulsed violently, throwing the garage into shadows. Liam ducked behind his workbench. Sparks flew from the elevator panel. Symbols flashed faster and faster. He realized the elevator wasn't just a machine. It was a beacon, a signal, a key. And he had pressed it, just a human pressing a button. And now he was at the center of something much bigger than himself. Liam took a deep breath. He was terrified, but he wasn't going to run. He wouldn't hide. Humans had always survived by being clever, by finding solutions where none seemed possible. Maybe he could do it again. He glanced at the red button, now glowing brighter than ever. His fingers hovered above it. One press could close the portal, but what if it made things worse? One mistake could destroy the planet, but hesitation was no longer an option. He needed to act. He needed to survive. Liam looked at the garage around him, the tools, the drones, the memories of his grandfather. He pressed a lever, rerouted power, and shouted at the top of his lungs, "Let's see what humans can do." And with that, the garage erupted into chaos. Sparks flew, machines whirred, drones zipped into the portal, and the hum of alien energy filled the air. Outside, alien ships braced themselves, sensing a resistance they had never expected. The first battle of what would become a galactic war had already begun. And it all started with a human pressing a button in his grandfather's garage. Liam didn't know it yet, but the galaxy had underestimated humanity. And that would be the first of many mistakes the aliens would make. The hum of the portal filled the garage like a living thing, vibrating through the walls and rattling the shelves. Sparks danced along the elevator panel, illuminating the cluttered space with strange, flickering light. Liam's fingers moved quickly, his hands slick with sweat and grease, as he connected wires from one old device to another. Each movement was a calculated gamble. He didn't know exactly what would happen, but he knew doing nothing was worse. Outside, the alien fleet hovered in orbit, their ships massive and cold. Hundreds of vessels, sleek and lethal, each bristling with weapons, sensors, and strange energy arrays. Liam's small planet had no defenses, no army, no hope, at least not by conventional standards. But that had never stopped humans before. He watched the first of his improvised drones zip through the portal. It dove toward the alien ships with surprising speed. On board, a small projector emitted a confusing signal, jamming some of the alien sensors. The ship shuddered, as if irritated by a fly buzzing near its eye. Liam grinned despite himself. One small drone, and already the aliens were reacting. "Okay," he muttered. "We can do this." But the fleet didn't pause for long. They began deploying more scout ships, scanning the planet, and analyzing the strange energy coming from the portal. Liam ducked as a holographic display sprang up from the elevator panel, showing a 3D model of the alien ships. Their weapons, engines, and shield patterns were all visible in an abstract, glowing way. It was like looking at a puzzle, and humans were good at puzzles. He grabbed another drone, attached a few old circuit boards, and rewired its movement. It zipped forward like a lightning bolt, weaving between alien sensors and emitting tiny pulses of electromagnetic interference. A nearby scout ship wobbled in the air, then lost stability for a moment before correcting itself. Liam laughed, a short, manic sound. "You're not ready for this," he said. Then the holographic portal pulsed violently. Symbols he still didn't understand spun around the garage like living fire. He reached for a lever, one his grandfather had left carefully labeled. "Emergency override, use only in absolute crisis." His hands trembled as he pulled it. The portal stabilized, opening a larger connection into space. Liam's mind raced. He realized the elevator wasn't just a gate. It was a bridge, a communicator, a weapon maybe, and his grandfather had been hiding it all for a reason. Now, by pressing a button, he had activated something the galaxy had forgotten existed, something that could draw attention from civilizations far beyond his understanding. From above, a massive alien ship descended toward the planet. Its hull shimmered in colors Liam couldn't name, and strange glyphs glowed along its sides. This was no scout. This was a warship. He ducked behind the workbench as a beam of scanning light swept through the garage. His heart pounded. He had seconds to act before the ship realized he was more than a minor interference. Liam grabbed a series of small drones and tied them together with fine wiring. He attached small pulse emitters, improvising in a way that would make any engineer in the galaxy jealous, or perhaps terrified. He activated them, and the cluster zipped toward the descending ship. The ship's sensors blinked wildly, trying to recalibrate. Liam's makeshift device confused the navigation system, causing the warship to hesitate. It hovered, massive engines thrumming, unsure of how to proceed. He could almost hear the alien mind struggling to understand a human who was nothing more than a mechanic with scrap parts. "This is insane," Liam whispered, but he smiled. Humans had survived worse. Humans had always survived worse. He remembered something his grandfather had said long ago: "Never rely on power alone. Use your mind, use what you have, and the universe will make room for you." Liam realized he was about to test that truth. He worked quickly, rewiring old hovercraft engines to act as mobile jammers. He rigged them to his drones, creating a small, unpredictable network of interference. The alien fleet, advanced as it was, could not adapt to randomness so quickly. Their systems were logical, precise, but humans were unpredictable. Outside, the aliens began deploying attack drones toward the planet's surface. Liam ducked again as one small, metallic craft zipped past the garage window, firing a scanning beam. He had only moments to respond. He pressed a button on a small handheld device. His drones moved as if part of a single organism, weaving in and out of the alien sensors. One drone darted through a warship's engine intake, sending a pulse that caused minor internal explosions. Sparks flew from the engine core and the ship shook violently. Liam couldn't help but laugh. "You're not ready for humans." But he also knew this was only the beginning. The alien commander, a massive figure projected over the portal, was watching everything. The calm, cold voice boomed through the garage. "Human," it said, "your species is reckless. You understand nothing of the forces you have activated. Stand down." Liam wiped sweat from his forehead. "Stand down? From what? I pressed a button in a garage. That's all I did." But the alien commander didn't understand. It had never faced humans who acted without fear, without logic alone, but with creativity. Liam's mind raced. He realized he needed more than just drones. He needed allies. He needed to use the planet itself. The garage held tools, yes, but also old mining equipment, power sources, and more than a few devices his grandfather had never explained. He ran through the plans in his head, improvising combinations of energy, mechanics, and human daring. From above, alien ships began scanning deeper into the planet, searching for hidden technology. Liam rigged a series of devices to emit false signals, drawing the scanners away from the garage. Small explosions in nearby fields created diversions. The aliens fired once, twice, but the improvised defenses disrupted their aim. It was working. Then, just as he caught his breath, he noticed a holographic display flicker. A new message scrolled across it in symbols he could somehow understand instinctively. "Human, your interference grows dangerous. Escalation imminent." He frowned. Escalation. He didn't want escalation. But he knew it was too late. They were already escalating. The first real assault arrived hours later, or at least it felt like hours, though time seemed to stretch and bend in the tension. A larger alien vessel entered orbit, weapons primed. Its hull shimmered with energy barriers far beyond anything Liam had ever seen. And yet, the ship hesitated. It scanned the planet and found a single human in a garage, manipulating drones and machines in ways it could not fully predict. Liam grinned, wiping his hands. He didn't have a fleet, he didn't have weapons, but he had ingenuity. And ingenuity, he realized, could topple empires, or at least frustrate them. He pressed a series of buttons on the elevator panel, redirecting the portal's energy. The alien vessel shuddered as the distorted field interfered with its navigation. Drones darted out from the portal, striking weak points in the ship's shields. Liam could see it wobble, massive engines straining. This is actually working," he whispered to himself, disbelief in his voice. The alien commander's voice boomed again, filled with something Liam hadn't heard before, surprise. "Impossible. Human, you are not supposed to do this." Humans had always adapted. Humans had always survived. And here, in a small garage on a quiet planet, one human was proving it again. Liam knew this was only the beginning. The alien fleet would not retreat. They would send more ships. They would try to overwhelm him. But for now, he had done the impossible. He had delayed a fleet with nothing more than ingenuity, courage, and a few old machines. He took a deep breath and looked around the garage. Sparks flew from the elevator panel. Drones zipped in and out of the portal. The humming grew louder, and somewhere in the chaos, he felt a thrill that he had never felt before. Humans were underestimated. Aliens had assumed they were weak. And for the first time, Liam understood the power of being underestimated. This was only the start. The galaxy had noticed humans, and humans were about to show it why they should never be ignored. He tightened his grip on a lever and shouted to the empty garage, "Bring it on!" The alien fleet would not forget this day. And neither would Liam. The night sky above the small planet was no longer quiet. Alien warships hovered like dark, metallic sharks, their hulls glowing with energy and weapon systems primed for attack. The galaxy, which had long considered humans insignificant, was about to learn that assumption was a mistake. Inside his grandfather's garage, Liam wiped sweat from his brow and adjusted a series of improvised devices he had rigged to the portal. The elevator panel hummed with a strange energy, pulsing in sync with the drones darting through space. He had lost count of how many ships he had delayed, misdirected, or disabled, but it didn't matter. Each small success gave him confidence, and every moment of confidence was dangerous for the aliens. "Okay," Liam muttered. "They're organized, they're strong, but they're not human." He looked at the holographic display projected from the elevator. The alien fleet moved like a single organism, precise, logical, almost perfect. But humans were not perfect, they were unpredictable. That unpredictability was Liam's weapon. He studied the fleet carefully. One thing became clear. The alien ships relied heavily on coordination, on communication between command and their drones. If he could disrupt that link, maybe he could turn their strength into a weakness. Grabbing a bundle of wires, small circuit boards, and components from old hovercraft engines, Liam began to work quickly. He connected the devices to the portal's energy output, channeling it into the drones. Each drone would now carry a small signal jammer, capable of interfering with the alien communication network. He sent the first wave through the portal. Drones zipped past the alien ships, weaving unpredictably, emitting pulses that made sensors flicker. Lights on the nearest warship blinked in confusion. Engines adjusted unnecessarily. Systems that had been perfectly synchronized just moments ago began to hesitate. The alien commander's face appeared again, larger than before, projected into the sky above the planet. Its expression was cold but tense, the first sign of doubt Liam had ever seen. "Human," the commander said, voice echoing like a cannon. "Your interference cannot continue. Stand down." Liam grinned. "Stand down." That's cute. He knew it was dangerous to mock the commander, but he also knew fear would not help him. Confidence, cleverness, and a bit of luck, that was his strategy. He worked faster, more drones, more improvisation. He attached energy reflectors scavenged from old hovercar shields to the drones, turning them into miniature moving mirrors. Each reflected the alien weapons back toward their own fleet in chaotic bursts. Ships fired, but the beams struck shields on other vessels. Confusion spread like wildfire. From the planet's surface, humans began to notice strange events. Satellites reported small energy bursts, minor explosions in empty fields, and drones moving like swarms of fireflies in orbit. No one understood where it came from, but one message spread quickly: humans are fighting back. Liam smiled. This was the beginning of something bigger. He moved to another part of the garage and pulled out his grandfather's old schematics. Among them were designs for devices that could amplify energy signals over long distances. Liam realized they could be combined with the portal to create a massive disruption field, a way to scramble the alien fleet's systems without attacking directly. He worked feverishly, wiring, soldering, and connecting components in ways that had no instruction manual, only instinct, knowledge, and determination. Hours passed like minutes. Outside, alien ships attempted coordinated strikes, but every attack was misdirected, disrupted by the drones and energy pulses. Then came the breakthrough. Liam activated the field. A wave of energy radiated from the portal, spreading outward in an unpredictable pattern. Alien sensors blinked, engines stuttered, and their weapon systems temporarily shut down. One massive warship, the size of a city, wobbled in the sky before stabilizing. Liam watched, heart pounding, as the fleet's precise coordination began to collapse. The alien commander's voice roared with frustration. "Impossible! Human, you should not be able to do this." "That's humans for you," Liam muttered, sweat dripping down his face. "We do impossible things all the time." He didn't have time to celebrate. The commander adjusted tactics. Smaller ships swarmed toward the planet's surface, trying to bypass the energy field. Liam quickly reprogrammed more drones to intercept them, using the garage's old tools and machinery as improvised weapons platforms. Hovercars, mining equipment, even scrap metal was repurposed into devices that disrupted alien sensors and engines. One by one, the alien ships faltered. Engines overheated, shields flickered, weapons misfired. It was like watching a perfect machine being undone by chaos itself. And that chaos had a name: human creativity. Liam noticed something else. The portal was responding to his intentions as if it could sense his focus. He realized he could amplify specific signals, directing the drones with incredible precision. One small squadron of drones zipped past the fleet, emitting pulses that caused several ships to collide. Sparks and fire erupted in orbit. Liam grinned, unable to resist a laugh. Humans were supposed to be weak, but here they were toppling a fleet with scrap parts and quick thinking. The alien commander's tone changed, edged with something new: respect. "Human, you are remarkable." Liam wiped grease from his hands and leaned back, exhausted but exhilarated. "Finally," he muttered, "someone sees it." But there was no time to rest. The commander wasn't done. A larger warship, almost twice the size of the others, descended toward the planet. Its hull shimmered with strange energy barriers, and its weapons glowed with lethal intensity. Liam's drones darted forward, but this ship was different: smarter, stronger, faster. He knew he needed more than improvisation now. He needed an advantage the aliens hadn't anticipated: unpredictability at a massive scale. He ran to the portal and connected every spare device he could find: energy amplifiers, drones, even old mining lasers. The portal pulsed, glowing brighter than ever, a swirling vortex of light and energy. Liam focused, directing the drones and devices like a conductor leading an orchestra. The massive alien warship fired. Beams of energy shot toward the planet, but the drones and reflected fields diverted them. The beams struck each other, creating explosions that lit up the sky. The alien ship shuddered, confused by the unpredictable interference. Then, Liam noticed the patterns. The warship systems were still logical, still following rules. If he could predict the patterns, he could turn them against the fleet itself. He concentrated, adjusting the portal's signals. Drones darted through the energy waves, emitting pulses that caused one alien ship to misfire. That misfire struck another ship, which struck another. Chaos rippled through the fleet, a domino effect powered by human ingenuity. The alien commander's voice was tense now, almost incredulous. How is this possible? Humans, illogical, unstoppable." Liam laughed, a short, triumphant sound. "We're just getting started." By dawn, the first major turning point became clear. Alien ships were falling back, confused and damaged. Some fled orbit entirely, retreating to regroup. The commander, a proud and powerful being, realized that humans were not only clever but adaptive. Every attempt to attack was met with a new invention, a new strategy, a new unpredictability. From the planet's surface, humans watched the sky. Though they didn't understand the full scope, they sensed a shift. The invincible aliens had been challenged, and for the first time, the galaxy's most underestimated species was proving its worth. Liam slumped against the garage wall, exhausted but alive. He looked around at the mess of tools, wires, and drones buzzing in the portal. He had done what seemed impossible: disrupted a fleet, defended his planet, and shown that humans were not to be underestimated. He smiled faintly. "Grandfather," he whispered, "you were right." The portal pulsed gently, as if in agreement. And somewhere in the vastness of space, the alien commander reconsidered everything it thought it knew about humans. They were not weak. They were not predictable. They were not inferior. Humans were something else entirely. Liam knew the galaxy would not forget this day. He also knew the alien fleet would return stronger and smarter, but he didn't care. Humans thrived on challenge. Humans thrived on ingenuity, and humans had just begun to show their true strength. For the first time, Liam felt something he had never felt before: the thrill of changing the course of the galaxy, not with weapons, not with armies, but with creativity, courage, and a mind that refused to quit. And the galaxy would never be the same. The sky over Liam's planet was no longer quiet. Alien warships still hovered, but now their movements were cautious, hesitant. The first waves had been disrupted by Liam's improvisation, his drones, and his clever manipulation of the portal. But the aliens were not done. A massive reinforcements fleet approached from the far edge of the system, ships bristling with weapons and shields stronger than anything Liam had faced. Inside the garage, Liam wiped sweat from his brow and took a deep breath. He looked at the chaos around him, drones buzzing, wires snaking across the floor, old hovercar engines repurposed into makeshift weapon systems. Everything was ready. This was the moment humanity would either prove its worth or pay the ultimate price. He took a deep breath and whispered, "Let's finish this." The alien commander's voice rang across the sky, amplified by massive communication satellites in orbit. "Human, you have defied the logic of the galaxy. Cease interference immediately. Stand down or face total annihilation." Liam smiled faintly. "You still don't get it. We're not afraid. We adapt, we survive, and we fight smarter than you ever imagined." Outside, the reinforcements fleet descended, their shields glowing, weapons primed. But Liam had a plan born of improvisation, courage, and human ingenuity. He began activating his drones, each carrying small pulse emitters, energy reflectors, and hacking devices cobbled together from scraps. The portal hummed with power, responding to his focus, channeling energy in unpredictable ways. The first wave of alien ships fired. Beams of energy streaked toward the planet's surface, but the drones intercepted them, deflecting the beams, jamming the weapons, and creating chaos. Ships collided, shields flickered, engines overheated. Chaos spread through the fleet like wildfire. Liam didn't stop. He had more ideas. He rigged energy amplifiers from the garage's old machinery to the portal, creating a massive disruption field. Alien ships faltered as their systems blinked and misfired. One massive warship, the size of a city, wobbled in orbit before its engines overloaded, and it drifted away in smoke and fire. From the planet's surface, humans watched in awe as the sky became a battlefield, and humans were winning. Even though they did not fully understand the technology Liam had used, they could feel it. Their ingenuity, their courage, was turning the tide. The alien commander's voice came again, this time quieter, almost incredulous. "Impossible. How is one species capable of this?" Liam wiped grease from his hands and leaned against the elevator panel, breathing hard. "It's simple," he said. "Humans never give up. We think differently. We adapt. We survive." The alien commander realized that brute force would not work. The humans were too unpredictable, too clever, too fast. Every attempt to attack was met with a new invention, a new strategy, a new surprise. The aliens had underestimated humans, and now they were paying the price. But Liam knew he had to end this before the reinforcements fully deployed. He focused on the portal, channeling energy into it, directing his drones with precise coordination. Using the energy field, he created a massive shockwave that rippled through space toward the alien fleet. Ships lost coordination, systems failed, and one by one, they began to retreat. The commander's voice rang again, now filled with respect. "Human, you have proven your species remarkable. We will withdraw, but the galaxy will remember." Liam smiled faintly. "We'll remember too, and maybe next time you'll think twice before underestimating humans." Outside, the alien fleet pulled back, retreating to the edges of the system. The sky, once filled with danger, was now calm. Liam's planet was safe for now. Humans had won their first battle against an interstellar fleet. The portal pulsed gently, as if acknowledging the victory. Liam wiped his hands and looked around the garage, at the mess of tools, drones, and energy devices. He smiled. This old garage, full of dust and memories, had become the command center for humanity's first real victory in the galaxy. He thought of his grandfather. "You were right," he whispered. "One day, curiosity and courage could change everything." Humans around the planet began to repair the minor damage caused by the conflict. They celebrated quietly, aware that the war was only beginning, but proud that they had survived and triumphed. The galaxy now knew that humans were clever, adaptable, and dangerous in ways no one had predicted. Liam knew the aliens would return eventually, but that was okay. Humans thrived on challenge. They thrived on ingenuity, on problem-solving, on facing impossible odds and finding a way through. He had learned that one human, armed with courage and creativity, could change the course of events in ways even the most advanced civilizations could not predict. He walked to the elevator and pressed the red button again. The portal shimmered and the holographic interface displayed strange symbols he now began to understand. It was a key, a bridge, and a weapon, but also a test. Liam had passed the test. Humans had passed. He looked out at the stars, the sky now calm and empty of alien ships. A small smile tugged at his lips. "The galaxy isn't ready for us," he said softly. "But that's fine, we'll show them. In time we'll show them all." The portal hummed gently, drones returned, and the garage settled into quiet once more. But the galaxy had changed. One human had pressed a button in a garage, and the course of history had shifted. The alien commander would tell tales of this day, of a single species that fought with ingenuity and courage instead of brute strength. And the humans, for the first time, knew what it felt like to be truly respected, even feared, by the galaxy. Liam looked at the red button one last time and chuckled. Who knew a little curiosity could start all of this? The stars twinkled silently, as if approving. The galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. Humans were unpredictable, unstoppable, and extraordinary. And Liam, the mechanic from a small garage, had shown the galaxy exactly why.